Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and let's get straight into the Bitcoin charts today. This right here is the 12-hour Bitcoin chart, and obviously the short-term trend is still clearly a bullish trend. All three of these indicators are still pointing to the upside, but keep in mind, the 12-hour Bitcoin RSI is currently still sitting in overbought territories, which can be a signal to us that Bitcoin is due for some sort of short-term cool-off, either a slight pullback or a sideways consolidation. But in just a moment, I'll be explaining why expecting a Bitcoin pullback due to the RSI sitting in overbought territories could be a risky strategy. But first, looking at the daily Bitcoin chart, and of course, we're still running into this 50% level at around 48,000 approximately. So at the time of recording this video, we still have not seen a confirmed breakout above this level of resistance at 48k, which is technically another short-term risk for Bitcoin. But the moment the Bitcoin price breaks above 48,000 with confirmation such as a daily candle close, for example, then in that scenario, if you're going off the Fibonacci levels on the daily time frame, the next most important Fibonacci level is of course the golden pocket, and that is actually more of a price range coming in between around $52,000 to $53,000 per Bitcoin. So basically 48,000 is the level to watch right now as for resistance, and above that, the next price target is at around 52,000 to 53,000. But in case we do end up seeing a short-term pullback in the Bitcoin price, of course we need to be paying attention to some levels of support, and some important levels of support to pay attention to would be coming in at around 45,000 to 46,000, considering the fact that 45k to 46k was massive support back in December, and of course massive resistance for the last 2 months until more recently. And other than those Fibonacci levels, there is another Bitcoin price target that we can pay attention to, which is the technical price target for the breakout out of this ascending triangle pattern, and that price target is coming into play at around $58,000 per Bitcoin, which is really interesting because if you're looking at the 78.6% Fibonacci level, that level is coming in at around 58 to 59,000. So these Bitcoin price targets tie in really well together, and especially with previous Bitcoin price action, for example at the golden pocket, we've previously found a lot of resistance at those prices as well. And like I said earlier in the video, on the 12-hour Bitcoin chart, yes, we are in overbought territories, and that is also the case for the daily Bitcoin chart as well. And quite often this can result in a short-term cool-off in the Bitcoin price. But when I say a short-term cool-off, that doesn't necessarily mean a pullback, because just as an example, if we take a look at the current Bitcoin price action right here compared to this price action that we saw at the end of 2018 leading into the beginning of 2019 on the same daily time frame, both charts here, you can see right here in this 2019 example, after the Bitcoin price had a massive breakout, the daily Bitcoin RSI entered well into overbought territories, which was basically a signal to us that Bitcoin is due for a short-term cool-off to cool off this RSI back down towards neutral values. But if you actually take a look at that short-term cool-off, during that same time period, the Bitcoin price did not break the uptrend. We were still trending to the upside here. We just simply cooled off for some time until the daily RSI reset down to these lower levels, giving us more room to the upside later on. And even if you continue further up on the chart here, we entered another short-term cool-off for nearly about 1 month, which resulted in a reset in the Bitcoin RSI back down to the middle line, the neutral levels, giving us more room to the upside again, as you can see here. And so basically, when we see the Bitcoin RSI, especially on the daily time frame, enter into overbought territories, like I said, we could see the uptrend slow down a little bit moving forward, but perhaps only for a more brief period of time, and we might not even see a pullback, so just keep that in mind. So in case you did not see any one of my videos over the past 2 months, and you simply did not accumulate at these lower Bitcoin prices, then personally in that situation right now, I'll be slowly dollar cost averaging into the market, because at least with that strategy, if Bitcoin keeps pumping, then I'm making profits. But if we do play out a slightly more bearish scenario where we might see a slight pullback, that is still possible, then if I was dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, I'll be able to accumulate more Bitcoin at those slightly lower prices. And obviously this is not financial advice. What you do with your Bitcoin strategy is completely up to you. But let's just say if I was sitting in 100% stable coins, I would not be waiting for a slight pullback like 5 to 6% back down to retest this previous resistance before entering everything into the market. Because if you use that same strategy back in this previous example in the Bitcoin price, you would have been waiting for a very long time. And just giving you a quick update on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, looking in the Bollinger Bands, which are right now expanding. Of course, this is happening after we had that squeeze phase showing us that a massive move in the market was just around the corner, and we are beginning to see that massive move in the market, and obviously this is turning out to be a bullish move. And while we're on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, of course the 3-day Bitcoin RSI and MACD are still looking really bullish here. here, we still have quite a lot of room to the upside in the RSI in particular, and the MACD is only just beginning to gain more and more bullish momentum on the 3-day chart. But obviously, for those of you that have been watching my Bitcoin update videos, you would already know about these two signals right here, because I've been talking about these two signals pretty much every single day for the past 2 months. And just giving you a quick update on the US stock market today, this right here is the S&P 500 index on the daily time frame, and today the S&P 500 index opened above yesterday's daily candle close, which means the S&P 500 index is breaking above the golden pocket and, more importantly, putting in another higher high here. But something important to mention to do with the fact that today opened above yesterday's daily candle close, that has created a gap in the price, which, if you're talking about the stock market, we normally see these gaps fill, but luckily for us, this gap isn't really that big, so we might end up seeing a slight dip back down towards this golden pocket. But for as long as the S&P 500 index can still remain above this golden pocket, which by the way is sitting at around 4540 to 4560, then we are still looking really good here. And something else to mention is the fact that the S&P 500 index is only around 4 or 5% away from the all-time high. And as I've been mentioning for a while now on the channel, if the stock market sees a full recovery, then that's going to really help assist crypto in seeing a full recovery back to the upside as well. And already that has been playing out pretty well so far. So for any of the Bitcoin bears out there expecting another massive crash in the Bitcoin price, technically speaking, that is never impossible, but it is very unlikely while the stock market is playing out a lot of bullish price action. And instead, more of a bearish scenario like that for Bitcoin will only become more and more likely if we see a major crash in the stock market, like what we saw at the start of this year, for example. And if you want to get regular updates throughout the day on the crypto markets, make sure you follow me over on my Twitter for updates just like this. And you can find a link to my Twitter in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. And if you found this video useful or simply enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. And before you click off, if you want to maximize your profit in the crypto market, whether or not prices are going up or down, then these two videos popping up right here on your screen are definitely for you to watch. But anyway, that is it for this update. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.